guys, I'm Ray, and we are streaming blacksmithing today. It's probably going to be a shorter stream. It is already 100 degrees outside before I turned on the forge, and the forge is only going to make it hotter. So I will stream for as long as I possibly can, but I've been here or out here already for about 15, 20 minutes or so, and I am already sweating. So I will stream until I just, I'm usually pretty good about being able to tell when I can't keep enough water in my system. So it might be a little bit of a shorter stream. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, it is super toasty today. You know what? My propane is completely out, so let me take care of that real fast. I apologize. I thought there was some in here already. But apparently there is not nearly as much as I thought. So you guys get to see my new system, I think. Oh wait, you can't because I don't have my camera. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. So last week, a bunch of you actually supported me by donating $25 to the cause through my KoFi. And I want to thank you guys for that. All right, here's the propane tank. So this week's propane tank is brought to us by Sandwich. So thank you so much, Sandwich, for sending me $25 through KoFi and supporting the stream and, supporting a bottle of propane. So thank you so much for doing that. So this sign is going to sit on the propane tank, or this sign is going to sit on the propane tank until that bottle is empty. And I think I learned my lesson about not using a giant Sharpie marker because it smells absolutely awful. I feel like I'm going to get a contact high off of this, you know? Only marker. No propane, so we should be good to go. You are very welcome. Awesome. Okay. We are in the middle of an ad space right now, so I am going to wait to actually turn on the propane until the ad is finished. That way, everybody can see me, light the forge. We might have to come up with a better way or place to put the sign because the hose is all up in the way, and I don't know that you can read it amazingly well. Can I read it? Yeah, I think we're going to have to come up with a different method to label these propanes. I don't know, maybe I'll put it as like a overlay because I put the sign on there hoping that people would be able to read it, but I don't think that you guys can read that. So for Friday's stream, I will come up with a different solution to display who is sponsoring the propane tank of the week. Okay. So yes, thank you so much, Sandwich, for sponsoring our propane this week. If I can light this. Come on. It would be nice if I could light this thing. I'm struggling today. Goodness gracious. Ah, there we go. There we go. Excellent. Ow. So once I get this all nice and taken care of, I will probably put like an overlay, or maybe we'll move the sign from the propane tank itself onto like the project wall or something like that. I want it to be real nice and visible, so as a thank you for supporting me. And if you would like your name, on the screen somewhere, you can totally support me on KoFi and, buy a tank of propane if you'd like. I always appreciate your support, no matter if you only can afford to watch or if you can afford to donate. So thank you guys so much for that support. The 2K adventure is not starting yet. Okay, so I started to like I did all the homework and I set up the laptop to start streaming in 2K yesterday. And but I can't I don't want to start the stream until like I'm actually going to be streaming, because it screws up my algorithms a little bit if I only do like a couple 5-minute streams or whatever. Anyway, so when I tried to start up the stream today, it told me no, that the Twitch enhanced streaming, which is where it is streaming in multiple resolutions, is not, or does not support my GPU yet. So it is a relatively new laptop, so they may or may not add it at a future date. That the 2K streaming feature is still in the beta. So I'm hoping that they add more GPUs and we'll be able to stream in 2K in the future. But for the moment, we can't. It's not going to let me stream in 2K. So I had to bump it back down to high definition. So I'm sorry. I wish I could stream in 2K. It would be amazing and great. But unfortunately, Twitch is not ready for my laptop yet. The other thing I was testing is, I'm not sure. I looked up how to mess around with like the sounds to see if I can get a little bit more of the shop sounds, and I checked a setting. So I'm not sure if you guys can hear the ASMR or not. Let me know. Oh, so it is about encoders. I read they currently go with NVIDIA GPUs, and you have an integrated Radeon and CPU. I do have an integrated Radeon CPU. So I'm hoping that they add Radeon later, but right now it's all NVIDIA, and so I just don't have that capability yet. They should, they should add it later, because there is almost as many AMD users as NVIDIA users, so I don't think it would make sense for them not to add AMD later. I clearly hear the floor drawer, so something has changed. Excellent. Excellent. As long as you can also hear me. So, once they add AMD and I hear that from a reputable source that they've added that, we will try and test the 2K streaming again. So, today, like I said, it's going to be kind of a shorter stream because it is so hot. I don't know that I can keep up with the water, or, drinking enough water to, keep up with my sweating. So we shall see how long I can go. but the goal today is to finish up the hammer. So right now there are only two things that we need to do that are like not for aesthetics today. So the hammer face itself is a little bit cockeyed. So I want to fix the direction so it's not bent down anymore. And then the tail is also bent down. So the whole hammer has kind of like a downward arc to it. So I want to make that a straight line from the cross peen to the face of that hammer, of the the round peen hammer. And that is the only thing that is not just aesthetic. Beyond that, I would like to squish down the cheeks a little bit more, just to kind of make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And I also want to chamfer things. So what I mean by chamfering is I want to take the square profile that we have on the hammer as a whole, and I want to turn it into an octagon. So I'm going to kill all of those corners and flatten those out. So those are our goals today. I'm going to turn on the recording function on my wide camera because I do want to kind of record an intro, and I also need to move this camera back over to the press real fast. So give me just a moment to do that, and then we'll be back with you. Okay. So we're going to start with the cheeks, and I think we're also going to be using the press for the moving the material into a straight line. I missed a thing. What's that say? I read up a little bit on this, not too much though. It seems like AMD is actually a better hardware encoding with some more modern codecs. But Twitch is now stuck with H.264, at which NVIDIA is better. I understand that this beta is a move by Twitch to catch up with the present on some codecs. So maybe if you have to do both at the same time, either Radeon cannot do it or it takes a dedicated GPU for it. I mean, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know a lot about computers. So I believe you, but like I said, until Twitch starts supporting AMD, we are stuck in high def for the time being. Okay. So I kind of wanted to do like a little intro, or I could drop my tongs. For this hammer, so that when I edit it, I can kind of put this in the front. So a cross-peen hammer has been a bucket list project for me. When I first started blacksmithing, I started watching YouTube videos. People like Rory May from Dirty Smith and Alex Steele, and they both were very big inspirations for me as a blacksmith. And the one thing that I was really inspired by with Alex Steele is his tools to make tools curriculum that he was teaching at the time. And so it has been a dream project of mine to make my own hammer ever since I saw his videos on tools to make tools. So this is an amazing project for me. It's a bucket list project, and I'm really excited to kind of do my first hammer and figure out the process. Danger is half knowledge at this point. I mean, when you know enough to be dangerous at something, That can be a good thing. It can also be a bad thing. Sometimes I think that I know enough about blacksmithing to be dangerous. But I think I've been blacksmithing long enough now that I'm just a little bit beyond that. So maybe I know enough about blacksmithing to be a little bit less dangerous. All right, how are we doing? It looks like the front face of the hammer is nice and hot, so we need to get that heat on the, or to move its way back. So I'm gonna flip this piece of material in the forge. Ah. And hopefully we'll be able to get started soon. I feel like I kind of made myself a little bit of a disservice by starting up the forge with the empty can before I started the stream. I should have changed the can and then started it. So I feel like we're taking a little bit of extra time that I wouldn't have, needed because I started the forge on an empty tank. It is, or is it an expression in English? It is in German. The idea, you know enough to have a strong opinion, but not enough to base the opinion on facts. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of it's. So there is a phrase in English that you are knowledgeable enough or you know enough to be dangerous. So it's like you think that you know more than you do. Really, is the implication in the English version of that phrase. So like I know enough to start up the forge and heat up a piece of metal, but maybe I don't know enough to like not burn myself or not know when I need to turn off the forge or something like that. That's kind of the implication there. Hopefully that ends up being more time for you to chat with us before you get overheated. I hope so. Okay, that is similar. This is as well, yeah. So yeah, it's kind of, that's what the phrase is in English. But yeah, I would like to chat with you guys. Man, I got a story for you guys, actually. So it's gonna be story time for a moment, and then hopefully after the story is over, we'll have it. The steel will be hot enough to forge. So as a lot of you know, or my partner and I have been looking for a van, and we last weekend we went and we decided on a specific van, and we kind of signed some paperwork to purchase a van, and we wanted to put a certain amount of cash down for that, right, to get a specific like payment on the loan, and so we were while they were trying to get us financing, they told us that we could go like look around at other vehicles and just walk around while we were waiting for them to finish the financing up. And so after they were finished with it, we came in to kind of sign paperwork, and um, they told us that they got us a really good interest rate and a good payment that was like within our budget. And then they had us sign all the papers. Well, they implied that the down payment was what we had agreed to. And then we got home and realized that they had increased the down payment by a significant chunk of money. So we were supposed to get the van today, but now we have to find some more funds. So we may not be able to get it until Saturday. And I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'm mostly upset that they did not tell us that they were increasing the down payment. I feel like that should be illegal. I mean, that's really shady and underhanded. I feel like if they were going to change the down payment after we had already agreed to a specific amount and they increase it, maybe they should, like, you know, tell us that they increased it in order to get a lower payment for us. That way we know how much money we need to, you know, collect for the down payment. What is the down payment? Is it the loan or the amount you have to pay immediately? So, I don't know how it is in Europe, but in the United States, when you get a loan, a lot of times you will pay a certain percentage of that, the full amount of the vehicle or house or whatever it is that you are getting the loan for upfront. So it's like a upfront amount, and then the loan covers the extra, you know, what you're not paying upfront. And so the higher the percentage that you put down upfront, the lower the loan is for, and so the lower the payment. So we had agreed to one down payment, and they raised it without, or implied that they didn't. And, you know, it's kind of our fault for signing the paperwork for that down payment, but I think they should have made sure that we were aware that they changed that down payment amount. So I don't know. We may or may not have, or I probably won't be able to pick up the van until Saturday. So I'm a little bit disappointed because I was hoping to see it in the driveway tonight, you know? It all comes out in the wash. We'll have it by this weekend, and, you know, overall we'll have a lower payment, and, you know, it's fine. It's not like the down payment is more than we have. It's just irritating. That's what you get when you're talking to used car salesmen in the United States. I agree, it is shady. I mean, yeah. I mean, there is a part of me that understands why maybe they might want to do that, because a lot of car salesmen here in the United States are paid on commission. So they get a percentage of the amount of money that of the sale that they make. So I mean, maybe, you know, they would have gotten a higher payout with this higher down payment. I don't know. It's still irritating. They should have made sure that we were very aware that they had increased the down payment. All right, so we have plenty of heat, and so we're gonna go over to the press, and we're gonna start working on the cheeks. I want to squish them down. They're a little bit on the thick side. But the reference should be the sum, not the down payment. I mean, yeah, it should. So, but multiple people get paid off of the same lump. So I don't know if like the loan assessor or something. I don't know. It's just weird in general. Alrighty. Pull this guy out. And I'm going to put the drift in here. And here we go. go back in the fire. Alrighty. It is back. Yay! I'm so glad that all of the ASMR is back for you guys. I actually fixed something for once in my life. So as far as the loan, if I had to actually guess, like, why they changed the loan amount, is that they wanted to make sure that they were financing it as opposed to us using our own bank. So in order to get the payments that we wanted and the interest rate that we wanted, they needed to have a higher down payment. So the loan officer was probably getting a commission by doing the financing through them as opposed to through our personal bank. You fixed a few things or had them fixed, which also works. Yeah. I try very hard to, fix things for you guys. But there's only so many things that I'm capable of fixing myself. It makes me happy that that is one of them. Alright. Gotta keep this guy cool so it doesn't bend. The funniest thing that I've heard ASMR related was a gamer apologizing for her ASMR chewing as she was eating some corn nuts. I don't know. I think ASMR, like, as a label, is kind of a weird sort of thing, right? So sometimes when you look up ASMR on, like, YouTube, you find things like crackling fires and wave noises and, like, the stuff that you might want to listen to while you're going to bed or, while you're trying to fall asleep, stuff that relaxes you and whatnot. And then there's a whole bunch of, like, really creepy ASMR stuff. So you gotta be really careful what you click on when you're using ASMR, because I mean there are some questionable things in that category in both YouTube and on Twitch. So, I will admit that my blacksmithing sounds are kind of ASMR or a kind of ASMR, but I don't want to I don't want to be associated with the creepy kind, Super warm today. So, like I said, it is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or, well, in the title of the stream, it is either 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 37.7-ish degrees Celsius in here today, and that's not including the forge heat and the lights heat. I'm actually using the light that I turn on when to brighten up the space is a incandescent bulb, so that also generates quite a lot of heat. So we're looking at upwards of 120 sometime throughout the stream. So, a 20 to 30 degree Fahrenheit increase. I'm not sure how many degrees each Fahrenheit degree is for Celsius, but yeah, it's a hot scorcher day. Huh. Hoping that we can, or I can handle it. 37 degrees is a lot. It is a lot. Well, that's one. I'll be right back. I'm gonna refill my water real fast. I filled my tank with extra water today, just so that I would have enough. You know. Normally, I put about 3 waters in the tank, and this time I put about 6 in, because I want to make sure I have plenty of water. It's kind of warm. Warm already. All right. Looks like we've got plenty of heat again. So I'm going to do another heat. We're going to flip the piece around and come at it from the opposite direction. We're still working on those cheeks. Oh, but there's an ad starting soon, so I guess I'm just gonna flip the piece in the forge, and then I'm gonna wait out the ad. All right, excellent. So my siblings are coming to visit tomorrow, so that's really exciting for me. It's been a long time since I've seen my siblings. I'm really looking forward to it. We're pretty close. I know a lot of siblings aren't very close, but I'm pretty close with my siblings. They're coming to visit, and I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do. They should be getting here around 10 a.m. my time, so that gives me plenty of time to do a little bit of editing for YouTube before they get here. And then I gotta figure out what I want to do. We want to go out, or if we want to stay in the cool. It's supposed to be really hot again tomorrow, so I don't know. We shall see. I don't know that I really want to go outside and hike outside, but maybe we could go to a mall or something. I don't know. How many siblings do I have? I have 2 siblings. So, and they're both coming tomorrow. We are in the middle of an ad. Oh, wow. My partner just got home, and we've only been streaming for about 30 minutes. So, yeah, that's always fun. He actually went to work today at, 4 in the morning, so I suppose it makes sense that he's home early, so, yeah. Ugh. It is always weird though when the LED lights of his vehicle come and stream through the open garage door. So yeah, I have 2 siblings. They'll both be here tomorrow. So I don't know what we'll do. It should be fun though. Even if we sit inside the house and do nothing, it's always a good time hanging out with them. We like to talk about geek stuff, video games and anime and TV shows and stuff like that. All right, I'm gonna pull the steel out, and we're gonna keep on working on the cheeks of this piece. Okay. I'm similar that way. Awesome. I'm glad that you have a good relationship with your siblings. Not everyone does, The cameras are getting hot again. Got to be a little bit careful because they are kind of overheating a little bit, or it's probably not the cameras. I think it's actually the capture card that's starting to heat up. So like I said, it's going to be a shorter stream today just because I want to make sure that I'm not damaging my equipment and my own body. Alright, let's go. So it looks like we're switching that down. Pretty well. I'm probably going to do a couple more heats specifically on this side. So we're going to flip this guy around because I'm pretty happy with the depth of these here. But these guys on this side are a little bit on the thicker side. What's happening? Okay. My camera's not happy. Give me a moment to fix that. It's set, or the camera itself is on. I'm not entirely sure why the capture card's being dumb. Huh. Is it super hot? It is super hot. I wonder if I do this. Nope. Okay, my wide is not thrilled. Alright. Okay, well, I am, I guess, gonna move this camera. I apologize. I have no idea what's going on with it. I apologize for all of the movement. And I mean, I did say that I was gonna, you know, do a shorter stream, but I was hoping it'd be a little bit longer than this. So I need to get this guy off of here real fast. Okay, put that. That's the wrong end. Where is my, okay, there it is. Let's see if we can't get the hammer off. Well, now it's stuck again, just like the drift. Awesome. There it went. Alrighty. Put that in there, and now that that is off, I'm gonna take a look and see what I can do about maybe figuring out what's going on with my capture card real fast. I'm really sorry, guys. I have no idea why that's doing that. Why is it doing that? Oh my god, another Hammer Saga. Thank God we did not make a drinking game out of that. Yeah. Welcome in, Bluesy. I'm excited to see you. I'm a little bit sad though that like my capture card's being stupid. I am positive it is super hot and that's what's going on right now. So, if I do that, I wonder what happens if I do, if I do this. Because of course it would do that. That's what's gonna happen, isn't it? I can't do that and this at the same time, can I? That move that direction, I might be able to do this. And then, can I do that? Will that work? All right. Have you tried computer scientist solution attempt? Unplug it and plug it back. It works. So okay, so right now, at this point, I only have one camera. It's the wide camera at the moment. But it's looking like my, so right now it's looking like the heat is killing my equipment. So we've only been streaming for about 45 minutes, but my equipment is not having it. I think I'm gonna do another heat and maybe so I would stream for longer because I seem to be able to do it this way, but you guys aren't going to be able to see anything up close if I do it this way, and I also kind of want to save my equipment. So I think that we're probably going to end the stream relatively soon here. Like I said, I'm probably going to do one more heat. But I am glad that I got to come in and talk to you guys for as short amount of time as it is, you know? Like I said, the camera is not, it's not the cameras. The cameras are fine. The laptop is fine. But right now the capture card is starting to overheat. So it is not wanting to change cameras. So I've put the wide shot on the close shots, I guess, cable. And it's currently working. But I don't want to burn it out. Alright. So, because I am stuck on a wide camera, I am probably going to do a little bit of work here on the anvil itself, or I guess the face of the anvil. I'm going to try and straighten up the face of the hammer. I think that's what I want to do. So we'll do one more heat, and then I'll probably raid off. Like I said, I'm sorry it's so short today, but I want to make sure that I don't ruin my equipment. You could try and put the shot side by side. Leave it there, yeah. You could always cool my equipment with an ice pack. You place it under with a small air gap. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do for Friday's stream is I will probably find a way to cool it so that it doesn't get too hot. It's been doing that a little bit the last couple of days, but today, like I said, it's like super hot. So I need to cool it down a bit, and by using it, it's just going to heat it up some more. I aimed the fan at it, so it should be fine through this heat. So I apologize for streaming for so short. I really wanted to stream for today. Put it in a cold box. I mean, yeah, I'll figure something out. We'll have it taken care of by Friday. All right. I'll move those out of there. It was so hot today that when I brought the cameras out, but I may be overcomplicating stuff. I don't know, Lucy. I think it's a good idea. I do. I really do. All right. So you can kind of tell that we've got it's going this way. So I'm going to try and kind of straighten that up a bit. And it looks like it's straightening a little bit. We're going to keep on keeping on that. Definitely straightening. So now, that's pretty straight. I'm pretty happy. We could totally put a handle on that direction. All right. So I think that's it today. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I am definitely sweating through my clothes, and it is super hot today. Thank you for joining me for a short amount of time as I was here. I apologize. I was unaware that, it would get this hot today. I will have a solution to that problem for Friday. I blame myself because I'm off work early today and you jinxed me. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I think it's super hot. And I already had thought about maybe canceling because it is super hot, but, Thank you guys for joining me today. I apologize for running so short. Alright, we're going to read off. Moved to Antarctica. I mean, that's a thing, I don't think we could actually do that, to be quite honest. We could maybe move to somewhere like Iceland or Greenland, but probably not Antarctica. Who all is on? We're going to find somebody new. Somebody new. Who is on? This is an interesting looking shop. What do we got here? Maybe welding? I'm not sure. Let's join and see what's going on. Or maybe not. I don't know. Is it not working? It did not work. Alright, let's see. Let's try this again. Oh, okay. I'm unable to raid that person. Okay. Well, then I did my best on that one. Let's go. I think. You know what? I missed our wood carver. Apparently, Delio Mac is streaming today. Right now. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.